Every boiler has a pressure gauge. It shows when the pressure is too high. But the gauge doesn't just warn, it also shows when the pressure is dropping. When the system is safe again. Tonight, God is reading your pressure gauge, and the number is about to drop. If this sound reached your heart, hit subscribe. More music like this drops every week. Cast all your anxiety on Him, because He cares for you. 1 Peter 5 verse 7.
Every boiler has a pressure gauge, a needle that rises as the heat builds. And the red zone means something has to release or the system breaks. And God is reading your pressure gauge tonight. The needle has been climbing for months, but the release valve is opening, and the number drops and the ache. The pressure gauge doesn't lie. It shows exactly how much weight the system is carrying. And the needle in the red says the load exceeded the design of the make. Cast all your anxiety on Him, and the casting is the release that drops the needle from the red back to the green, where the system can breathe and not break. Your gauge has been in the red for weeks, the needle buried past the warning line, but the release just started, and the pressure is dropping for your sake. And the pressure gauge says the needle is moving, red to yellow to green, and the system that was about to break just received the release it needed to partake. Cast all your anxiety on Him. The pressure gauge drops tonight, and the needle that was buried in the red is moving toward the green, because the release valve opened in the light. The pressure gauge, the needle was in the red, but the release just started, and the number is dropping, and the system can breathe again. Months of climbing pressure, but one release from God drops the needle faster than the months of building and the pain. Cast your anxiety to the gauge, and the casting is the release that moves the needle from the danger zone to the safe and the rain. The pressure gauge, and the guy who reads the gauge just opened the valve, and the number drops, and the system survives the strain. The pressure gauge dropped for Elijah under the tree. The needle was in the red from Jezebel's thread, but bread, water, and sleep released the pressure, and the gauge went green. The pressure gauge dropped for David in the cave. The needle was buried from Saul's pursuit, but worship released the pressure, and the Psalms brought the gauge back to clean. The pressure gauge dropped for the disciples after the resurrection. The needle was in the red from the crucifixion, but the risen Christ released the fear, and the gauge returned to the serene. And the pressure gauge says the fastest drops come after the highest readings, because God's release is proportional to the pressure and the scene. Your gauge is dropping right now. You can feel it, the tightness loosening, the weight shifting, the needle moving from red to yellow, because the release is keen. The pressure gauge says the red zone is over, the valve open, and the system that was about to break just moved back to safe. And the screen, the pressure gauge, the needle wasn't the red, but the release just started, and the number is dropping, and the system can breathe again. The pressure gauge, months of red zone, needle drop. The valve opens, the pressure stops. Yellow now, green ahead. The pressure gauge leaves the dread. Oh, the pressure gauge. The needle just crossed from red to yellow when the system exhaled, and the pressure that was building for months released in one moment of God's intervention. The pressure gauge and the God who reads gauges just opened the valve before the system broke, and the drop from red to green is the prevention. From every month the needle climbed, not knowing the release valve was about to open, and the pressure would drop faster than it built. And the redemption. The pressure gauge reads green now, and the system breathes, and the valve is open, and the pressure that nearly broke me just became the exception. The pressure gauge, the pressure gauge, the pressure gauge, the needle drop. Scaffolding surrounds the building during construction. Ugly metal pipes blocking the view. But behind the scaffolding, the beauty is being finished. And God has scaffolding around your life right now. The pipes are ugly, the view is blocked, but the finishing work is happening, and nothing is diminished. The scaffolding goes up at the end, not the beginning. The final details need the platform, and the ugly season is the finishing season, and it's distinguished. You are God's masterpiece, and the masterpiece is behind the scaffolding, being detailed with brush strokes. Nobody can see it until it's exhibited. The scaffolding comes down when the building is ready, and the removal day is when the world sees what was built behind the pipes, and it's astonished. And the scaffolding says, stop judging the season by the pipes. The beauty behind the metal is almost finished, and the reveal approaches, and it's polished. You are God's masterpiece. The scaffolding hides the finishing tonight, and the pipes come down when the building is ready to be seen in the light. The scaffolding, ugly pipes block the view, but behind the metal, the finishing work is happening, and the reveal is close. The scaffolding, the ugly season is the finishing season, and what's being built behind the pipes is more beautiful than anyone knows. God's masterpiece, the scaffolding and the pipes come down when the last brush stroke lands, and the beauty shows. Oh, the scaffolding and the God who finishes behind the ugly is about to remove the pipes, and the world will see what grew from below. The scaffolding hid Joseph for 13 years, ugly pipes of prison. But behind the metal, a prime minister was being finished for the throne and the rise. The scaffolding hid David in the caves, ugly pipes of hiding. But behind the metal, a king was being polished for the crown and the prize. The scaffolding hid Jesus for 30 years, ugly pipes of Nazareth. But behind the metal, the Savior was being finished for 3 years. That changed the skies. And the scaffolding says the longest constructions produce the most detailed finishes, because the pipes stay up until every detail is perfect and wise. Your scaffolding is about to come down. The pipes are being unbolted, and the building behind the metal is ready to be seen, and it defies finishing work is happening, and the reveal is close. The scaffolding, the ugly season is the finishing season, and what's being built behind the pipes is more beautiful than anyone knows. Ugly pipes, beautiful building, the scaffolding hides what God is gilding. Coming down soon, the reveal is near. The scaffolding hit the premiere. The scaffolding, the pipes just came down, and the building behind the metal is the most beautiful thing anyone has ever seen. And the finishing was worth the hiding. The scaffolding and the God who builds behind ugly pipes just revealed the masterpiece, and the world is staring at what the scaffolding was protecting and providing. From every ugly season, I judge not knowing the scaffolding was the finishing platform, and the beauty was being detailed behind the pipes and the guiding. The scaffolding is down, and the building stands, and the masterpiece is visible, and what was ugly was the covering for the most beautiful thing, and the abiding. The scaffolding, the scaffolding, the reveal is here. A fault line is the crack in the earth where two plates meet. The tension builds underground for years, and the release is the earthquake that reshapes the landscape. And God has a fault line in your life. The tension has been building between who you are and who you're becoming, and the shift is about to reshape everything in the landscape. The fault line says the tension is not the enemy. The tension is the energy stored for the shift, and the earthquake that comes releases what years of pressure baked. The old is gone, the new has come, and the fault line is where the old meets the new, and the release happens at the crack where two versions of you break. Your fault line has been building pressure, the tension between the comfortable and the cold, and the earthquake that comes will reshape the terrain when you wake. And the fault line says the crack is not a weakness, it's the exact place where the shift happens, and what reshapes after the quake is better than before the shake. The old is gone, the new has come. The fault line shifts tonight, and the earthquake between who I was and who I'm becoming reshapes everything in the light. The fault line, the tension between old and new just released, and the landscape is reshaping, because the earthquake was the shift, not the destruction. The fault line, years of pressure building underground, and the release changes the terrain, and the map redraws with new construction. The old is gone, the fault line, and the crack where two plates meet is where the new version of me emerges. From the introduction, the fault line, and the God who controls earthquakes just release the tension, and the landscape will never look the same after the production. The fault line shifted for Abraham at 100. The tension between barrenness and promise released, and Isaac was the new landscape from the quake. The fault line shifted from Moses at the bush. The tension between shepherd and deliverer released, and the terrain of a nation changed from the break. The fault line shifted for Paul on Damascus. The tension between persecutor and apostle released, and the earthquake rewrote the map from the stake. And the fault line says the biggest shifts in history happened at fault lines, where two versions of a person met, and the earthquake produced the remake. Your fault line is releasing right now. The tension is letting go, and the landscape of your life is about to look completely different from the overtake. The fault line says the shaking is the shifting, and the terrain that forms after the earthquake is the version God designed from before you were awake. The fault line, the tension between old and new just released, and the landscape is reshaping, because the earthquake was the shift, not the destruction. The fault line, years of pressure building underground, and the release changes the terrain, and the map redraws with new construction. Two plates meet, the tension builds, the earthquake shifts what God wills. Old terrain, new landscape. The fault line is the reshape. The fault line, the earthquake just hit, and the landscape is new, and the terrain that forms after the shift is the version God designed before the first blade moved. The fault line, and the God who controls fault lines just released the tension, and the old landscape is gone, and the new one is approved. From every tremor I feared, not knowing the earthquake was the shift between who I was and who I'm becoming, and the landscape improved. The fault line shifted, and the terrain is new, and the map redraws, and the version of me that walks on this new ground is the one God always proved. The fault line, the fault line, the landscape changed.
A suspension bridge hangs from tension cables. The cables look like they're under stress, because they are. But the tension is what holds the bridge. Remove the tension, and the bridge collapses. Tonight, God is showing you that the tension in your life is not breaking you. It's holding you up. Stay. The best song on this album is still ahead. Subscribe so you never miss one. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9.
A suspension bridge hangs from cables pulled tight. The tension looks like stress. The cables look like they're about to snap. But the tension is the design. Remove the tension and the bridge collapses. The stress in the cable is what holds the road above the water, and the pull is the purpose of the line. And God is showing you that the tension in your life is not breaking you, it's holding you up. The pull you feel is the cable doing what it was designed to do, and it's fine. My grace is sufficient, and the grace is the cable stretched tight, but holding the weight of everything that crosses the bridge in the divine. tension cable says the pull is the purpose, the stretch is the strength, and a bridge that hangs from tight cables carries more weight than the bridge built on loose lines. And the tension cable says stop praying for the tension to end. The tension is the engineering, and what the cable holds is worth the pull in the design. Oh, my grace is sufficient, the tension cable holds tonight, and the pull I feel is not breaking me, it's holding the bridge above the water in the light. The tension cable, the pull I feel is not the breaking point, it's the engineering. The tension is what holds the bridge above the water. Oh, the tension cable, remove the tension and the bridge collapses. The stress is the design, not the disaster. Grace sufficient, the cable, and the stretch that feels like breaking is the strength that carries every person who crosses the chapter. Oh, the tension cable, and the God who engineers bridges with tension just said the pull you feel is the proof the cable is working and you matter. The tension cable held Abraham between promise and fulfillment, 25 years of pull. But the cable held Isaac, and a nation crossed the bridge above the water. The tension cable held Joseph between dream and throne, 13 years of stretch. But the cable held a nation's food supply, and millions crossed the border. The tension cable held Jesus between Gethsemane and resurrection, 3 days of the tightest pull in history. But the cable held the salvation of the world in the order. And the tension cable says the most important bridges in history hung from the tightest cables, because the weight they carried demanded the tension and the recorder. Oh, your tension cable is pulled tight right now. The stretch is real, the bridge is holding, and the people crossing your bridge need the cable to stay tight in the quarter. Oh, the tension cable says the pull is the proof, the tension it is the purpose, and the bridge you hold up carries more than you can see from the border. The tension cable, the pull I feel is not the breaking point, it's the engineering. The tension is what holds the bridge above the water. Oh, the tension cable, remove the tension and the bridge collapses. The stress is the design, not the disaster. Pull tight, but holding strong. The tension carries all along. Remove the stress, the bridge falls. The tension cable answers calls. The tension cable, oh, the tension cable. The pull is real, but the bridge is holding, and the weight being carried across my life is worth every ounce of tension in the cable. The tension cable, and the God who engineers with tension just said the stretch you feel is the strength, not the collapse. And you are able. From every day I prayed for the tension to end, not knowing the tension is what holds the bridge, and removing it would collapse. But I'm responsible and stable. The tension cable holds and the bridge stands, and the tension is the design, and the pull is the purpose, and the engineering is the label. The tension cable, ooh, the tension cable, ooh, the tension holds the bridge. The compass needle spins when you move too fast, but When you stand still, the needle settles and points north, and the direction becomes clear again on the trail. And God is asking you to stand still tonight. The needle has been spinning because you've been running, but the moment you stop, the direction appears without fail. The compass needle doesn't create north, north exists. The needle just points to what's already there. When the spinning stops in the rail, in all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct. And the directing is the needle settling on the direction that was always there. When the detail, the compass needle says the direction didn't disappear, your movement hit it, and the stillness reveals what the running obscured from the trail. And the compass needle says stop, stand still, let the needle settle, and the north that was always there becomes visible when the movement ends and the veil. He will direct your path. The compass needle settles tonight, and the direction that was hidden by the running appears when I stand still in the light. The compass needle, the direction was always there, but my running made the needle spin, and the stillness reveals what the movement hid from my view. The compass needle stands still, and the needle points north, and the path that was invisible becomes clear and new. He will direct the needle, and the direction settles when the spinning stops, because north never moved, and I always knew. The compass needle, and the God who is the north just said stand still, and the needle locked in, and the direction is true. The compass needle settled for Moses at the bush. He stopped running, and the direction appeared in the flames, and the burning revealed the north. The compass needle settled for Elijah in the cave. He stopped running from Jezebel, and the still small voice was the north that the spinning hid from the fourth. The compass needle settled for Jonah in the fish. He stopped running from Nineveh, and the belly was a stillness that let the needle find its worth. And the compass needle says every direction in the Bible was found when someone stopped moving, because the needle settles in the stillness, not in the earth. Your needle is about to settle. You can feel the spinning slowing, and the direction that emerges from the stillness is the path God drew from your birth. The compass needle says stand still, one more second, and the needle locks in, and the direction you've been searching for was always there beneath the mirth. The compass needle, the direction was always there, but my running made the needle spin, and the stillness reveals what the movement hid from my view. The compass And the path God drew is the one I'm walking, and the running is done, and it's come. The compass needle, the compass needle, stand still and find north.
Hey. A chain reaction starts with one atom splitting. One event triggers the next, which triggers the next. And one small beginning produces an explosion that changes everything. And God just triggered a chain reaction in your life. One prayer split one atom of heaven, and the reaction is spreading from thing to thing, and it's happening. The chain reaction says the breakthrough you've been waiting for doesn't arrive as one big event. It arrives as one small trigger that sets off a sequence of everything. One word from God and the chain reaction begins. Let there be light was the trigger, and the universe was the chain reaction from one sentence and the ring. The chain reaction is the prayer you prayed last week, the trigger, and the reaction is still spreading. One door opening triggered another, which triggered another, and the spring. And the chain reaction says the explosion you're about to witness started with one small act of faith that split one atom, and the reaction can't be stopped once it begins. And the king, let there be light. The chain reaction starts tonight, and one trigger from God sets off a sequence that can't be stopped and changes everything inside the chain reaction. One prayer split one atom, and the reaction is spreading, and door after door is opening, because the trigger was set and it can't stop. The chain reaction, one small beginning, produces an explosion, and the sequence that God started is still going. And the drop, let there be light, the trigger, and the universe was the reaction. One word and everything changed. And the chain reaction, and the God who starts reaction with one word just triggered mine, and the doors are opening in a sequence that won't stop. The chain reaction started when David picked up one stone. The trigger killed the giant, which triggered the army's courage, which triggered the nation's freedom and the sound. The chain reaction started when Peter preached one sermon. The trigger saved 3,000, which triggered house churches, which triggered a global movement underground. The chain reaction started when Jesus said it is finished. The trigger split the veil, which triggered access to God, which triggered salvation for every generation that was found. And the chain reaction says the biggest explosions in history started with the smallest triggers, because one atom splitting is enough to change the world around. Oh, your chain reaction just started. One prayer, one trigger, and the sequence is spreading, and you can't see every door that's opening, but the reaction is profound. The chain reaction says the trigger was set, the first atom split, and what follows is an unstoppable sequence of breakthrough that covers every ground. Oh, the chain reaction, one prayer split one atom, and the reaction is spreading, and door after door is opening, because the trigger was set and it can't stop. The chain reaction, one small beginning, produces an explosion, and the sequence that God started is still going. And the drop, one trigger, one reaction, the sequence spreads beyond the fraction, can't be stopped once it starts. The chain reaction breaks the jars. The chain reaction, the trigger was one prayer, and the sequence trigger a chain reaction that outlasts the
Chain reaction.
started, and the doors are opening, and the sequence spreads, and the trigger was small, but the explosion is the forecast.
The chain reaction.
The chain reaction. One trigger changed everything. Tide shifts twice a day. What was underwater surfaces. What was exposed gets covered. And the coastline that looked permanent changes completely in 6 hours. And God is shifting your tide right now. What was hidden is surfacing. What was overwhelming is receding. And the landscape of your life changes with His power. The tide shift says what you see right now is temporary. The water comes and goes, and the coastline that looks permanent is reshaped every time the tide moves its tower. To everything there is a season, and the tide is the season, rising and falling. And the shift that's happening now is on schedule, and it's your hour. The tide shift says the thing that overwhelmed you is receding. The water that covered your feet is pulling back, and what surfaces is what was hidden. And the flower, and the tide shift says the landscape is changing. What was underwater is emerging, and the new coastline is the version God designed for this next chapter. And the shower, to everything there is a season. The tide shifts tonight, and what was hidden underwater is surfacing, because the tide pulled back in the light. The tide shift. What was overwhelming is receding, and what was hidden is surfacing, because the tide just changed direction. The tide shift. The coastline looked permanent, but the water reshaped it in 6 hours. And the correction, to everything a season. The tide and the shift brings up what the water hid, and takes down what the water elevated in the reflection. The tide shift, and the God who controls the tides just turned the water. And my landscape is changing, and the direction is perfection. The tide shifted for Israel at the Red Sea. What was underwater became dry ground, and what was pursuing was overwhelmed, and the chase ended at the shore. The tide shifted for Elijah at Carmel. The drought was the low tide, but the rain that came was the shift that covered the dry ground, and the flow was restored. The tide shifted for the early church at Pentecost. The hiding was the low tide, but the Spirit was the surge that covered the fear, and the world was explored. And the tide shift says the most dramatic coastline changes in the Bible happened in hours, not years. Because when God shifts the tide, the landscape redraws, and it's adored. Your tide is shifting right now. You can feel the water moving, and the thing that overwhelmed you is pulling back. And what surfaces changes everything, and it's stored. The tide shift says watch, the water is turning, and the coastline of your life in 6 hours will look nothing like it does right now, because the tide is the sword. The
reaction. Water rises, water falls, the coastline changes. Through it all, what was hidden now appears. The tide shift dries the tears. The tide shift. The water just turned, and what overwhelmed me is receding. And what was hidden underneath is surfacing. And the coastline is new. The tide shift. And the God who controls tides just changed the direction of the water. And my landscape is reshaping. And the view from every permanent looking coastline I accepted, not knowing the tide would shift and the water would reveal what was hidden from my view. The tide shift happened and the landscape is new. And the water that overwhelmed is gone, and what surfaced is the breakthrough. The tide shift. The tide shift. The water turned.
The power grid, yeah. A power grid connects every house in the city to one source. The power plant miles away sends electricity through the grid. And every light in every home runs from the same source. And God's power grid connects every part of your life to one source. The faith, the peace, the strength are running from the same power plant and the force. The power grid says when the lights go out in one room, you don't replace the power plant, you check the connection, because the source never stopped generating in the course. I am the vine, you are the branches, and the vine is the power plant. The grid is the branches, and the electricity that lights every room flows from one source. The power grid says the problem is never the source. The source runs 24/7. The problem is always a disconnected wire somewhere between the plant and the floors. And the power grid says reconnect. The source didn't stop, your connection dropped. And the moment the wire is restored, the lights come back because the plant was generating the whole course. I am the vine, you are the branches. The power grid reconnects tonight, and the source that never stopped generating just found the disconnected wire, and the lights come back in the light. The power grid, the source never stopped generating. My connection dropped, and the reconnection brings every light back on in one moment. Lord, the power grid, every room in my life runs from one source, and the source is God, and the connection is the atonement. I am the vine of the grid, and the branches that went dark just got reconnected to the power plant and the component. The power grid and the God who generates 24/7 just restored my connection, and the lights are on in every room. And the moment the power grid reconnected Elijah, the brook dried up but God didn't. The vine was still generating, and the widow's house was the new wire and the station. The power grid reconnected Peter after the denial. The branch disconnected, but the vine kept generating, and the beach breakfast was the restoration. The power grid reconnected Israel after exile, 70 years disconnected, but the vine never stopped, and the return to Jerusalem was the new wire and the foundation. And the power grid says every disconnection in the Bible was a wire problem, not a source problem, because the vine never stops generating. And the nation, your wire just got reconnected. You can feel the current flowing, and the rooms that were dark for months are lighting up one by one. And the salvation
Every light in every room is back on, and the celebration.
The power grid, the source never stopped generating.
My connection dropped,
And the reconnection
brings every light back on in
one moment.
Oh no,
The power grid
every room in my life,
runs from one source.
and the source is God.
The connection is the atonement.
One source,
Every room
the grid connects,
beyond the gloom,
wire restored.
lights come back.
The power grid is on track. Hey!
The power grid,
The wire just reconnected, and every room lit up simultaneously, because the source was generating the entire time I was sitting in the dark. The power grid and the God who is divine never stopped producing power, and the disconnection was the branch, not the bark. From every dark room I sat and blaming the source, not knowing my wire disconnected, and the plant was generating the whole time in the park. The power grid is restored, and the lights are on, and every room is bright, because the source never failed, only the connection left its mark. The power grid,
the power grid,
the power grid,
the source never stopped.
When the soil is depleted, the farmer doesn't abandon the field. He amends it, adds nutrients, works compost into the dirt. And the field that produced nothing last season becomes the most fertile ground the next season. Tonight, God is amending your soil. The field isn't dead. It just needs new nutrients. Share this with someone who needs peaceful music today. This sound was made to be passed on. He who supplies seed to the sower and bread for food will also supply and increase your store of seed. 2 Corinthians 9 verse 10.
When the soil stops producing, the farmer doesn't abandon the field. He amends the dirt, adds compost, nutrients, minerals, and the barren ground becomes fertile again. And God is amending your soil right now. The field that produced nothing last season is receiving new nutrients, and what couldn't grow before will grow now from the rain. The soil amendment says the field isn't dead, it's depleted, and depleted soil just needs what was taken to be put back.
And the grain,
He supplies seed to the sower, and the supply includes the soil amendment, the nutrients that make the ground ready to receive what the seed needs to sustain. Your field produced nothing last season. The crop failed, the soil was dry, but the amendment is being worked in right now. And the barren ground is about to change its terrain. And the soil amendment says the most fertile fields are the ones that were amended after depletion, because the nutrients that go in exceed what came out.
and the refrain.
He supplies seed to the soil,
grows and the ground is becoming fertile in the light. The soil amendment, the field that produced nothing is being restored with new nutrients. And what couldn't grow before will grow now because the soil changed. The soil amendment, not abandoned but amended. And depleted soil just needs what was taken to be put back and rearranged. He supplies the amendment, and the ground that was barren is becoming the most fertile field because the nutrients exceeded what was drained. The soil amendment, and the God who amends soil is working compost into my depleted ground, and the next harvest will exceed what the barren season contained. The soil amendment restored Israel after exile, 70 years of depletion, but the return added nutrients, and the rebuilt temple grew from amended ground in the men. The soil amendment restored Peter after denial, depleted faith, but the beach breakfast added nutrients, and the preacher of Pentecost grew from restored soil in the blend. The soil amendment restored Job after total loss, the most depleted field in the Bible, but the double restoration was the amendment, and the harvest exceeded the trend. And the soil amendment says the most depleted fields produce the most abundant harvest after amendment, because the nutrients God adds exceed what the depletion stole and the spend. Your soil is being amended right now. You can feel the ground softening, the nutrients entering, and the field that failed last season is about to become the most fertile one to commend. The soil amendment says the barren season is over, the nutrients are in, and the next seed planted hits fertile ground, because the amendment changed everything from end to end. The soil amendment, the field that produced nothing is being restored with new nutrients, and what couldn't grow before will grow now because the soil changed. The soil amendment, not abandoned but amended, and depleted soil just needs what was taken to be put back and rearranged. Depleted soil, nutrients added, the barren ground is no longer padded. Fertile again, the crop returns. The soil amendment is how God turns. The soil amendment, the ground that produced nothing just received new nutrients, and the field that was barren is now the most fertile ground I've ever stood on. The soil amendment, and the God who restores depleted soil just worked compost into my dry ground, and the seed planted next will grow because the amendment is one. From every barren field I stared at, thinking the ground was permanently dead, not knowing the soil amendment was coming, and the nutrients would surpass the sun. The soil amendment is complete, and the ground is fertile, and the next seed hits rich soil, and the harvest from amended ground exceeds every harvest that's been done. The soil amendment, the soil amendment, fertile again, fertile again. Keystone is the wedge-shaped stone at the top of an arch. Remove it and the entire arch collapses. because every other stone leans on the one at the top. And God is the keystone of your life. Every relationship, every achievement, every plan leans on the one piece at the top. And without that piece, everything stops. The keystone is small compared to the arch, but its position makes it the most important stone, because it locks everything else in place from the top. In Him all things hold together, and the keystone is the holding, the one piece that keeps the arch standing when every other stone pushes outward and drops. The keystone says the arch looks like it holds itself, every stone pressing against its neighbor. But remove the keystone and the illusion collapses and the prop. And the keystone says, I am the piece at the top, the one you don't notice until removal. And without me, the arch you built falls and the crops. In Him all things hold together. The keystone locks into night, and the arch that stands does so, because the one piece at the top holds every other stone in the light. The keystone, one stone at the top of the arch, and every other stone holds, because the keystone locks them in place from above. The keystone, remove it and the arch collapses, because the holding was always the one piece nobody noticed. And the love in Him all things hold. The keystone and the piece at the top is God, and the arch of my life stands because He's above. The keystone and the God who holds everything together from the top, just locked in. And the arch stands because of the one stone that's enough. The keystone held Abraham's arch, God at the top, and every stone of promise, patience, and faith locked in, because the keystone never shifted. And the view, the keystone held David's arch, God at the top, and every stone of anointing hiding and waiting locked in, because the keystone held true. The keystone held the church's arch, God at the top, and every stone of persecution, growth, and expansion locked in, because the keystone is the glue. And the keystone says every arch that collapsed in the Bible collapsed, because the keystone was removed, and every arch that stood had God at the top. And the breakthrough, your keystone is in place, God at the top of your arch, and every stone of your life leans on the one piece that locks everything together, and it's new. The keystone says the arch holds, not because the stones are strong, but because the keystone is in position, and the piece at the top never moves from the view. The keystone, one stone at the top of the arch, and every other stone holds, because the keystone locks them in place from above. The keystone, remove it and the arch collapses, because the holding was always the one piece nobody noticed. And the love, one stone at the top, everything holds, it won't stop. Remove it and it falls. The keystone answers calls. The keystone, the stone at the top of my arch is God, and every other piece of my life holds, because He locks them in, and the arch stands through everything. The keystone and the God who holds from the top just said, I'm in position, and your arch will not collapse, because my placement is the thing. From every arch I watched collapse, not knowing the keystone was missing, and the one piece at the top determines whether everything stands or falls from the ring. The keystone is locked in, and the arch holds, and every stone is in place, and the piece at the top is God, and the holding is everything. The keystone, the keystone, one stone holds it all.
In Undertow is a current that pulls beneath the surface. You can't see it from the shore, but the swimmer who feels it knows something stronger than the waves is moving underneath. And God has an undertow of grace pulling beneath the surface of your life. Invisible but powerful, and the current underneath is moving you in the direction the surface can't see beneath. The undertow says the visible waves are not the strongest force. The invisible current below is, and the pull you feel is God moving things beneath the teeth. He works in ways we cannot see, and the undertow is the unseen wave, the pull beneath the surface that moves the swimmer toward the shore without their feet. Your life has an undertow right now. The surface looks still, but underneath something is pulling, positioning, moving, and the current is stronger than the heat. And the undertow says, stop fighting the pull. The current below is God, and where the undertow takes you is the shore He chose before the fleet. He works in ways we cannot see. The undertow pulls tonight, and the invisible current beneath the surface is stronger than any wave on top in the light. The undertow, beneath the surface, the current is pulling me in a direction I can't see, but the pull is God, and the destination is the shore. Oh, the undertow. The waves on top are not the strongest force. The current below moves what the surface can't, and the floor. He works unseen, the undertow, and the pull I feel beneath everything is the hand of God moving beneath my feet. And the door, the undertow, and the God who moves beneath surfaces just redirected my current, and the shore I'm heading for is the one He chose before. The undertow pulls Joseph beneath the surface. The visible waves set slavery and prison, but the current below was moving him toward a throne beneath the flow. The undertow pulled Ruth beneath the surface. The visible wave said widow and foreigner, but the current below was pulling her toward Boaz and a crown from below. The undertow pulled the disciples beneath the surface. The visible wave said crucifixion, failure, and hiding, but the current below was moving them toward Pentecost and the show. And the undertow says the invisible pull is always stronger than the visible waves, because what God moves beneath the surface determines the destination below. Your undertow is pulling right now. The surface looks one way, but the current beneath feels different, and the pull is God repositioning for the flow. The undertow says yield to the current, stop swimming against the pull, and the shore that the undertow
destination is the shore.
Oh, the undertow.
The waves on top are not the strongest force. The current below moves what the surface can't. And the floor beneath the waves,
A strong pull
the undertow,
is beautiful,
invisible,
the powerful.
the undertow is God's pull.
The undertow.
The current beneath the surface
Just pulled me.
to a shore I didn't choose, but the shore is exactly where God designed me to land.
The undertow.
And the God who moves beneath surfaces was pulling the whole time. The waves distracted and the destination was planned. From every wave I fought on the surface, not knowing the undertow beneath was carrying me in the right direction by God's hand.
The undertow.
Pulled me to the shore, and the current was God, and the destination is here. And the invisible force was the most powerful in the land. The undertow,
The undertow.
the undertow
The pool beneath.
is God.
Morse code sends messages through simple signals, dots and dashes, short and long. And the receiver, who knows the code, hears words where others hear only noise. And God has been sending you Morse code
Dots and dashes.
in your daily life. The closed door was a dash, the open window was a dot, and together they spell a word and the voice. The Morse code says the signals were never random. The timing, the closed doors, the unexpected turns, each one was a dot or dash in a message God has been transmitting with poise. The one who has ears to hear, let them hear. And the hearing is the decoding. The moment the dots and dashes become words, and the noise becomes the choice. The Morse code says the message has been transmitting your entire life.
Signal after signal.
But tonight the code clicks and the message spells something you needed to hear. And the rejoice, and the Morse code says listen.
Dot dash, dot dash.
The message is I am with you, and I always have been. And the receiver just decoded the voice. The one who has ears, let them hear. The Morse code transmits tonight, and the dots and dashes I thought were random just spelled a message from God in the light. The Morse code, the signals I thought were random were
Dots and dashes.
spelling a message, and tonight the code clicked and the words appeared.
The Morse code.
Closed doors were dashes, open windows.
Dots and together they spell.
I am with you, and the message is clear. Ears to hear the code, and the noise becomes words when the receiver knows the language and the message is endeared.
The Morse code.
And the God who transmits in dots and dashes just sent a message that my receiver decoded. And the words are what I feared I'd never hear, and I'm cheered. The Morse code transmitted to Abraham. Leave your country was the first dot. The stars were the dash, and the message spelled Father of Nations. And the light, the Morse code transmitted
The bush was a dot, the staff was a dash, and the message spelled deliverer, and the fright turned to might. The Morse code transmitted to Mary. The angel was a dot, the manger was a dash, and the message spelled Savior of the world. And the night became bright. And the Morse code says every life in the Bible was a series of dots and dashes that spelled a message only the receiver could decode. And the sight, your Morse code is clicking right now. The signals are coming faster. Dot, dash, dot, dash. And the message is forming, and the words are about to appear in the light. The Morse code says, listen, the message God has been transmitting your entire life is about to be decoded. And the words change everything tonight. Hey, the Morse code. The signals I thought were random were dots and dashes, spelling a message. And tonight the code clicked and the words appeared. The Morse code. Closed doors were dashes, open window were dots, and together they spell I am with you. And the message is clear. Dot, dash, dot, dash. The message forms in the flesh, not random signals but a word. The Morse code has been heard. The Morse code. The message just decoded, and the dots and dashes of my life spell I am with you, and I always have been. And the receiver finally heard what was always being said. The Morse code. And the God who transmits through daily signals just had his message received. And the words are clearer than anything spoken. And the thread from every signal I dismissed is noise, not knowing God was transmitting in code. And the dots and dashes spelled a message for my head. The Morse code decoded, and the message is I am with you. And the signals were never random, and the code clicks, and the words are alive, not dead. The Morse code. The Morse code. The message was always played